This is the second video on forecast, and so you should have all the variables already into your forecast data sheet, and you may not have this data that I already have here estimated. And I will tell you, you have two options here to estimate these projections. If you make a graph here, a line graph, let me show you. You notice this is the behavior of our earnings per share over 10 years. So what we want to do is to make one projection for the next 5 years. So we need 15 periods in total. So we got two options here in Excel. The first is you need to select all the data. You have till year 17, and notice that we don't have the years as 2016 or 2017. I have them as date input. By that I mean I have date, month, and year format there. So it's important you have those as dates over there. And because I have Excel version 2016, the latest, and into the datum or data menu, I have these options that is called prevision or forecast, maybe it's called in English, but in Spanish it's previsión. And then you click it, and what you get is a projection for a specified period of time. Here I have till year 2023. I could change this for different year, right? But I will leave it there. And then I have some options in which I will try to configure manually the seasonality, which I don't want, right? Maybe I want a smooth projections, like this case, if it's the one that I consider. And normally we would like to have a smooth projection, and we don't need this option for a trust. For trust periods, we only need one projection line. And then this will create another sheet with the results. Then you click on and enter, and what you get is projections on another new sheet. You may copy this information and paste it on your sheet. You may copy it, then paste it only as values, and then you might want to copy them and write paste with transport the data. You may do that and copy and paste it on your forecast right here, which I have with some blue color, so you may know the difference. Or you also have another tool, which is a formula called for pronóstico in Spanish and forecast in English. It's normal forecast, right? But in order to perform this, we need some numbers as our known variable. So I will escape here and type those numbers that I tell you. So we need this time created time series 1, 2, 3, and we can fill the rest of the numbers till the year that we need, which is 15 periods, right? Now we can use our formula. So for the known x, we select period 11, and then for the known y, we may select the earnings per share data if it's the variable we are projecting. And then for the future data, we will use it says known x, we select the created time series from 1 to 10, and then close parentheses and enter. Um, that way we might create a new way of projecting our earnings per share, right? So you might want to do this right over here where you have the earnings per share, and you may use one of these two options to project not only earnings per share but also price earnings ratio, and the price, especially the price, needs to be projected. um, Again, you may do this with in every of the corresponding line using, again, pronostico or forecast in English, or the tool that is called forecast here into that. Forecast will be a little bit different. You may also have um, an specified growth rate that you may use. Again, with operating income, you need also to estimate the projection using forecast formula. So you forecast operating income. For tax rate, I suggest you only take the average of the tax rate the company has been paying over the last 10 years. Let me find what that is. Um, it's it's here on the profitability ratios, and if I select all this area, I notice that I have an average of some 20%. So I estimated that one continues over the next 5 projected forecasted years. So you may want to keep that as a stable tax rate for all the forecasts. Then operating profit after tax is estimated as well, using the same formula we have done on the previous video. It's only the operating income, which is forecast, times 1 minus the tax rate, which is estimated stable for the next 5 years. Then the relationship between debt to equity, which is also a politic decision. They decided how to finance the company. So I will estimate an average for the last 10 years. So it's again 32% for my company. You may estimate it as an average on your company as well. And the long-term debt is a forecast because the company has a tendency over the last 10 years, and you find that information on the balance sheet data. That balance sheet data is right down here on row long-term debt is row 96, and you see there is a tendency to increase the long-term debt on this company, and my forecast reflects that, an increased level of long-term debt. And again, you may estimate this forecast number using either the forecast tool into your datum menu. Again, I remind you that you need to have Excel 2016 version, and you may also use the forecast formula.